Welcome to Technically Speaking, where we help you increase your income through tech.
Welcome to week 3 of the bootcamp, and this week we're going to be talking about operating systems and computer software. In this lesson, we will explore operating systems, OS, and how they serve as the foundation for running computer software. So by the end of this week, you will understand what operating system is and how it functions, differentiate between system software and application software, learn about file systems and directories, gain hands-on experience installing and navigating Linux distribution, and last, complete a project that reinforces Linux installation and setup. Every computer, whether a smartphone, laptop, or server, needs an operating system, OS, to function. The OS is the middleman between the user, applications, and hardware. It manages files, memory, and connected devices. There are different types of operating systems, each designed for specific needs, from Windows and Mac OS for personal computing to Linux and Unix for servers and cloud environments. What operating system do you use daily? Why do you prefer to use it? Can you name some operating systems used in businesses and data centers? Let's compare the 3 major operating systems you'll likely encounter in your tech career. 1. Windows. This is most widely used for personal and business computing. Support a wide range of software, including Microsoft Office and gaming, and also used in corporate environments with Active Directory and Windows servers. 2. Mac OS. This is commonly used in graphic design, media production, and software development. It's known for its security, stability, and seamless integration with Apple devices. It has a Unix-based architecture, so it makes it similar to Linux in some aspects. And last, Linux. Open source and free, and is used for servers, networking, cybersecurity, and DevOps. There's different versions we call distros like Ubuntu, Red Hat, and even Kali Linux. And it powers cloud computing, AI, and enterprise IT systems. Which OS would you choose for gaming, cybersecurity, or cloud computing? Why do you think Linux is used more in IT than Windows or Mac OS? Software is divided into 2 main categories, system software and application software. System software includes the operating system, drivers, and background services that manages hardware and system operations. Application software includes programs like web browsers, word processors, and media players that users interact with daily. So an example of system software would be Windows OS, Mac OS, Linux, device drivers, even BIOS. Application Examples of application software would be Google Chrome, Microsoft Word, Adobe Photoshop, or even VS Code. Can you name an example of system software that runs in the background? What's the difference between installing an OS and installing an app? Every operating system organizes data using a file system, which determines how files are stored and accessed. Windows uses NTFS, which is New Technology File System, while Linux and macOS commonly use X4, ext4, or APFS. Knowing how file systems work helps in data recovery, troubleshooting, and OS management. A file system is just a structured way to store and retrieve data. When you're navigating directories, you can look at Windows. They use drive letters as this. So you have the C and the colon, and you see users and document. And then with Mac OS or Linux, they use a hierarchical type of file system. As you can see here, here's an example of home, user, documents. What happens if a file system is corrupted? How do we recover data? How does an OS know where to find a file when you open it? Now, let's install and navigate a Linux distribution. This skill is essential in IT, DevOps, and cybersecurity careers. Now, Linux is widely used in cloud computing, network, and enterprise environments, so learning the basics is a must. By the end of this activity, you'll understand how to install Linux and manage files and use basic commands. Now, your project for this week is to create a guide that walks someone through installing Linux step by step. This is a great way to document your learning and build a portfolio piece. This will include screenshots, explanations, and a troubleshooting section in case something goes wrong. So your project requirements would be to install Ubuntu Linux in VirtualBox, create a step-by-step guide with screenshots, explain basic Linux command and user setup, and then submit your assignment via Google Docs, PDF, or just send it in a Discord. By completing this project, you'll gain hands-on Linux experience, an essential skill for IT jobs. So this activity here is just to guide you through installing a Linux distribution, Ubuntu. And we'll use VirtualBox as our virtual machine. And we're going to set up a user account and just learn the basics of navigating using this Linux terminal. Okay. So the first step we need to do is we have to get our workstation set up. So we have to download and install VirtualBox and download a Ubuntu iOS ISO file. Okay. So let's go to the official VirtualBox website, virtualbox.org. And let me bring this up here for you guys. All right, so this is VirtualBox. So I also include this website in our file section. So just go below this video, you'll see it, and click on download, and it will download for you. All right. Now, once that finishes download, you're just going to install it by following the on-screen setup instructions. Okay, here is Ubuntu's official website. We're going to download Ubuntu's desktop right here. Download 24.04.2 LTS. And then once you download that, what you will have to do, most likely you'll have to do is actually restart your computer. Since you've downloaded and installed some things for it to actually come and you be able to start ready to work with, you will have to restart your whole system computer. So go ahead and you restart, power off, power on, and then you can come back to it and open up VirtualBox and you'll have your Ubuntu still in your downloads. Okay. Okay, great. So now you've restarted you've downloaded and installed VirtualBox, and then you went ahead and downloaded a Ubuntu ISO image, and you restarted your computer. Now you have VirtualBox Manager up, open, ready to start building our virtual machine. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up into New. So we're going to click a new virtual machine, basically. And then you can put a name if you want. Well, you want to put a different type of name, but I like to just keep it as the operating system as because I usually create these, tear them down. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to create this, probably tear it down. So definitely create a name for it. I create the software, Ubuntu. That's pretty simple. Your ISO image. This is something that we just downloaded. So all you have to do is just go to your downloads and select what you've downloaded. So I have the desktop, boom, in my downloads. That's it. Now we're going to go to next. A username is a password. Go ahead and select that. Change that, update it. You definitely want to change your passwords. It will be the default change me. For this example purposes, I'm just going to keep this here, okay? But just know, give yourself a username, give yourself a password, write it over, write it down so you know it's not lost and you're good to go. All right? So next, we have the hardware. Now I do want to give you guys the installation guide so you can follow step by step on how to install Ubuntu from Ubuntu's website. It will really help you understand how much hardware, how much memory you should get. Let me go ahead and bring it over here really quick so you can see. As you can see, create a new virtual machine. All right. One moment. Okay. Somebody was calling me. So you see you can create a virtual machine and it tells you about the name and where to get, the default credentials and it's just really good to help you out. Now this is really where it is. It's hardware. So you gotta have 8 gigabits of RAM and 4 CPUs, right? So just follow this installation guide to a T so you do not mess up anything. If you're not new to this, then obviously you can customize as you please. Let me go ahead and put it over here because I'm going to go follow it. And we're going to do about, like I said, let's do about 8,000 here. That's good. Just make sure you stay on the green. And then 4 CPUs is recommended. All right. Cool beans. Next. This size, they like it 25 gigabits. It's good. It's good. Next. And you're just going to summary. You're just going to make sure all of this is good to go. All right. Mostly it is. We're just doing default credentials, right? So yeah. So you're just going to let that go. And what it's going to do is hold on. What it's going to do, let me show you that this will come up here and it's going to install and start the virtual machine. So let's give it some time. It shouldn't take too much time, but let's wait. Okay, so we are finally greeted with this Ubuntu login screen. We can enter in our username and password. We already know what it was unless you changed it. So let's go ahead and put it in. So we can get to the Ubuntu desktop. Yay! Okay. So now that we're at the desktop, gonna pop on some stuff. You could say next, you could say skip, just next, finish, and we're good to go. Now we can start exploring basic Linux commands in our terminal. So you can go to the terminal, click on your apps, go to the terminal. Um, you can also do Control Alt T, I believe. And yeah, there you go. And it comes up. I accidentally clicked Firefox. Let me exit out of that. Okay, so boom, let me just exit out of this. So it's Control Alt T. You got to put all that together. And that comes up. Okay, cool. So now you're literally just going through. I have a list that I'm gonna give you guys. You should already see it in the downloads underneath this video. Right? So we did our Control Alt T to get access to the terminal. And in the terminal, we can do things like PWD, print working directory. It just shows the current directory path. So we got home and VBox user, that's the user. We also have LS, which lists files in the current directory. So as you can see, these are the files, desktop, documents, downloads, all these other things. We can even do list with a dash LA, which basically lists all files. That includes the hidden files and give us some details. As you can see, these are all the files, even the hidden ones with a little more detail. Okay. Um, you can even make a directory, right? So when we did ls, you see, as you can see, those are our current directories. But we can say mkdir, which is make directory space, and you can name it. Let's name it my folder, maybe? Yeah, my folder. Something simple, just for explaining example purposes. So my folder, enter, and then we didn't get an error, so it seems like it took, and you can literally do the same command. To do the same command like ls, we can literally just press the up arrow on our keyboard, up it, and it'll give us the last things that we have typed in the command in the terminal. So ls was second to last, so we was able to, as you can see, it shows us all of this. So ls, enter, and as you can see in our new what our new list with our directories, we have my folder. Okay, it was just a plain simple folder, just nothing in the folder. Okay, if you want to delete that folder, you can do remove. So RMDIR, remove directory, and then name it. So what do you want to remove? And I'm going to say I want to move my folder. Okay, and ls, and it's gone. Okay, so I'm going to make directory, and I'm going to put it back. Let's call it bootcamp. All right, and we have bootcamp there. Now, let's go into this directory. We want to go into the bootcamp directory. So we do CD, which is change directory, and then we have to name it. So it's going to be boot camp, change directory bootcamp, and then enter. And as you can see, we are in bootcamp's directory in this folder. Okay, there's nothing in this folder. I can do ls, and there's nothing there. I can do print working directory, and it tells me where I'm at. Home, the host, which is VBox user that we created, and then I'm in the folder bootcamp. All right. Um, if we want to create an empty file text to put something in this folder, like a regular text, we can do touch. We can use the touch command and then name your file. So it's like touch basically just means create in Linux and Mac. So you're gonna say, let's call it my file. We're just being very simple. So in the bootcamp, I want to create a file called my file, txt. That's the extension. All right. And I can literally, since I'm in bootcamp, I can do list and it'll list what's in here. It's only one thing. We only created something empty, right? We can create some more stuff if you want. We could say touch my second file dot txt, right? Oh, I spelled that all wrong and no one said anything. Second file dot txt, right? And then I could list, oops, list. And as you can see, it lists the files. All right. I can also, if I want to change directory and go into my file dot txt, can't go into my file dot txt because it's not a directory. It's just a txt. If you wanted to open the file and put something in it, you can do nano, right? Nano means like open, whatever. And then you say my file dot txt, and now you can be in it. So let's just say you can type whatever. I like cats, right? I like dogs, right? Can I pet that dog, right? All right, cool, whatever. We can say whatever. And then you can exit, you can do Control X, and you want to modify, you want to save it, Control Y, and then save it. You could just do Enter. All right. So now we're back in the terminal. We put some stuff in our file, which was nano. And then if we want to see what we put in our file, we can say cat. Cat means to open, to display. So cat my file dot txt. And then I open the file and it says, I like cats. I like dogs. Can I pet that dog? To go beyond this basic usage right here, you can actually install Ubuntu Server Edition instead of the desktop edition and learn about remote management using SSH. But that's more for my more advanced folks, my newbies. All you should be able to know how to do is download, install VirtualBox from Oracle, and download Ubuntu software, well, Ubuntu image, and then install Ubuntu's image on your virtual machine. And then you start playing around with Ubuntu, right? Create you a user account, create you a file just like I did, put some stuff in that file. Can I pet that dog type stuff? Just go and navigate. And boom, that was all the homework. Go ahead and document this process. How was you able to do this? What did you do? And just submit it to us in Discord so we can get an understanding of what you did. And it also holds you accountable for your own learning. Okay. So we're done with the homework. I want to jump in before we end this lesson and talk about the careers you can have with these new skills that we just gained from the homework. The demand for professionals skilled in operating systems and computer software is growing as businesses rely more on IT infrastructure, cybersecurity, and cloud computing. So, we're going to talk about some of the top OS and software related careers, along with their average salaries and required skills. Let's start off with system administrator. These people manage and maintain enterprise IT systems, including Windows, Linux, and macOS environments. Their salary is going to start off at 70K and range to up to 110K a year. And the skills needed would be Windows Server, Active Directory, and PowerShell, Linux administration, Bash scripting, network configuration, troubleshooting, cloud services like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and even security patching and system monitoring. Some of the certifications to get started with this system administrator career would be CompTIA Linux Plus or Server Plus cert, Microsoft Certified Windows Server Administrator, or even the Red Hat Certified System Administrator, the RHCSA. Number two, DevOps Engineer. These people bridge development and IT operations by automating deployment, monitoring, and system performance. Their salary is going to start off at 120K and can range all the way up to 170K a year. The skills needed for this type of job is Linux administrator and automation, which is Bash and Python, CI, CD pipelines like Jenkins, GitHub Actions, Docker and Kubernetes, cloud platforms, AWS, Azure, and even Google Cloud, and infrastructure as a code, understanding Terraform and Ansible. So these certifications to get here would be AWS Certified DevOps Engineer, Microsoft Certified DevOps Engineer Expert, or even the HashiCorp Terraform Associate. All right, let's talk about cloud engineers. Now, their role is to design, deploy, and manage cloud-based infrastructure and applications. Their salary is going to start off at $110,000 and can range to 160 a year. The skills needed to be a cloud engineer would be Windows and Linux OS management and cloud environments, of course, virtual machines and serverless computing, networking and networking and security in the cloud platforms, cloud automation and scripting, and even backup disaster recovery strategies. Certifications to get started would be AWS Certified Solutions Architect, Microsoft Certified Azure AZ104, or even the Google Cloud Associate Engineer. Let's talk about cybersecurity analysts. Okay, these people, they protect systems and networks by monitoring threats, vulnerabilities, and attacks. They're going to start off at 90K a year and could go all the way up to $140,000 a year. Okay, the skills needed for this would be Windows and Linux security management, firewalls, and tools like Splunk or Security Onion, vulnerability scanning and penetration testing, security compliance like NIST and the ISO 2700 series, and even endpoint security and incident responses. So, some certifications to get started would be the CompTIA Security Plus, Certified Ethical Hacker. Moving on to software engineer, more on the OS and systems programming side. Now, their role is going to be develop, maintain, and optimize operating systems, firmware, and low-level software. The salary is going to start you off at 120K a year and can range all the way up to 180K a year. Skills needed to be in this realm would be C, C++, Python, Rust programming, Linux kernel and Windows API development, embedded systems and firmware development, debugging and performance optimization, and last, systems level security and cryptography. Certifications to get started would be Google IT Support Professional Certificate, or maybe even the Microsoft Certified Azure Fundamentals. I do want to bring up virtualization engineer, which they manage virtual machines, hypervisors, and cloud computing environments. The salary is going to start them off at $100,000 and can range all the way up to $140,000 per year. The skills needed to be a virtualization engineer would be VMware, Hyper-V, VirtualBox, or KVM, Windows and Linux system administration, storage and backup solutions, virtual networking and security, and even automation and scripting. Certifications to get you started over here: VMware Certified Professional, the VCP, or Microsoft Certified Azure Virtual Desktop. Last one I want to bring up is the Site Reliability Engineer, the SRE, which ensures software reliability, uptime, and system scalability through automation. The salary is going to start you off at 130K and could go all the way up to 180K per year. The skills needed here would be Linux system administrator and performance tuning, scripting and automating using Python, Bash, and Go, cloud native infrastructure like Kubernetes, Docker, monitoring tools, and instant response and high availability strategies. All right. Certifications to get you started would be Google Cloud SRE Professional Certificate or even the AWS Certified DevOps Engineer. Whether you're interested in system admin, cybersecurity, DevOps, or cloud computing, expertise in operating systems and software management is essential, right? So Linux and Windows are skills that are foundational for most of these tech jobs, as you can see. Learning automation, scripting, and cloud platforms will boost your career potential. And just getting your certifications like the CompTIA, Microsoft, Cisco, even AWS can help you land your first job faster. All right. So start building your OS and software skills today, and you'll be job ready in 2025. Let me know if you need any guidance on courses, certifications, or even hands on projects. Now, this career path is designed to take you from learning operating systems and computer software basics to landing a high paying tech job and advancing to senior level roles. So let's get started. Step one, you're going to get started with OS and software basics. It should take you about 3 months. Your goal here is to understand how operating systems work, learn command line basics, and explore system admin concepts. So you will learn operating system fundamentals, command line basics, file system and permissions, and basic networking. All right. Step two, you're going to learn system admin and security, which should take you another 3 months. Your goal here for step two will be to get hands on with system admin and OS security to prepare for IT jobs. All right. What you'll learn in these 3 months would be Windows and Linux administration, system monitoring and performance tuning, and even backup and disaster recovery strategies. You'll also dib and dab in some basic security like firewalls, encryption, and system hardening. Step three, you're going to specialize in cloud, DevOps, or cybersecurity. This will take you 6 months. Okay. The goal here in this step is to pick a specialization that aligns with your career goals. So you would pick one of these paths, right? Cloud engineer, DevOps, or cybersecurity. Let's say you wanted to be in cloud engineer. So, a cloud engineer, you're going to learn AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud fundamentals. And then you're going to deploy virtual machines and cloud-based storage solutions and study cloud security and automation tools like Terraform. You will also get certs like AWS Certified Solutions Architect or even the Microsoft Azure Admin. Okay. So step four, after you've picked your specialization, step four, you're going to advance your career. So you went ahead and you learned the basics, you learned the fundamentals, you got some hands on, you specialized, and you got your first job. But we're going to advance your career because it doesn't stop there. So within 1 to 3 years, you're going to move into higher paying specialized roles in OS and software management. We do not want to stay in admin roles or help desk roles any longer. We want to jump our pay. All right. So what we're going to do is gain experience with those enterprise IT environments where IT help desk, where IT admins, or where admins, period, network admins, systems admin, doesn't matter. You're gaining experience with enterprise IT environments and large scale deployments. While you're there, you're also going to earn advanced certifications in cloud, networking, or even security. And you might even want to start mentoring junior IT professionals or contributing to open source projects. This here will open you up to positions that are well above 100K a year in senior system administrator, maybe a cloud solutions architect, DevOps engineer, or even a cybersecurity manager whopping in at 170K a year. All right. So, just my final advice here with your career path. I want you to gain hands on experience by setting up a home lab with VirtualBox and cloud services. I want you to join tech communities, Reddit, LinkedIn, Discord, network with other professionals, or freelancing on platforms like Upwork to gain real world experience, and apply for internships or entry level IT jobs as soon as you feel ready. Okay? Follow this roadmap and you'll be job ready in tech within 1 year. Operating systems and software management are foundational skills for system admin, cybersecurity, DevOps, and cloud computing. Even if you don't become a system admin, knowing how operating systems work, how to use Linux, and how software interacts with hardware will help in networking, troubleshooting, and automation. This is just the beginning. Next, we'll explore programming basics to automate tasks and build software. Quick question. What was the most interesting thing you've learned today?